Nama Vishnu-padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmad Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine Nama Vishnu-padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmad Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunya Vadi Paschatyarisha Dharine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyarisha Dharine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gatadha Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jaya Radha Ramana Radha Ramana Radha Ramana Radhe Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundar Nitai Sachi Sundar Nitai Sachi Sundar Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundar Prabhupada 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 Jai Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jai Gurudev 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 Jaya Gurudev Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananda Kudi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se koho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktarinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Shri Giri Govardhan ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki jai. Tulasi Devi Tulasi Maharani ki jai. Samaveda Bhaktarinda ki jai. Gaura Premanandi. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone, welcome Amrita Radhe Devi Dasi, Ben, Jayanti Bai and Rashmi Mataji. Hare Krishna. We have Amrita Radhe. What a beautiful name. The Amrita of Radhe. What's the Amrita of Radhe? Who can say? What's the Amrita of Radhe?
Pure love which is stored in the heart of Srimati Radharani. Amrita.
Oh, the Amrita is Shyam, isn't it? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. What a beautiful, beautiful name, huh? And we want to, I will quickly, briefly introduce everybody else, and then you get a chance of saying a few words about yourself. Myself, I'm Gauranga Sundara Das. I'm here at the Hare Krishna Center in Leicester. We're still in lockdown, and hopefully in spring or early summer this will be finished. We hope so. And in the meantime, for the last 2 years, we have done our program online on Zoom, starting with Skype audio only, and then coming to Zoom audio only, and then Zoom with video, and so on. So we do twice weekly meetings on Wednesday, same time, same link, Bhagavad Gita study, detailed study, a workshop, and we do the Saturday Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So I have been, just very brief, I have been in contact with Krishna consciousness since 75. So that's a long time back. That is 40-something years. So more than half my lifetime, which feels good, more than half. And every extra year now is a plus of more time in Krishna consciousness than out of Krishna consciousness. So that feels good. And I've seen a lot of things in that 40 years. Anyway, so that's me. What about you, Ben? Can you say a few words about yourself? Just very briefly. Ben, can you hear me? Okay, so maybe that's not working. So I'll say a few words on your behalf, if that is okay. Ben has been also a long time around. And keep your video on, Amrita Mataji. So Ben has been a long time around. He has been a book distributor all over the country. He has been at our London Soho Street temple. He has been distributing Srila Prabhupada's books for a long time. And now he's in Leicester here, also for a long time now, and staying in Leicester. And his association is always very, very much welcome when we get it. We were very happy when we get that association, like anybody else's too. Hare Krishna. Then Rashmi Mataji, can you say a few words about yourself? By the way, Amrita, Radhe Mataji and Rashmi Sen know each other, to some extent at least, because they're spending time with Siddhi Lalsa Mataji in Mumbai and studying Shastra there. So they are not strangers. So Amrita, Radhe Mataji, maybe there's nothing much to say about Rashmi. I say a few words. Rashmi Mataji has also been with us for a very long time, and she has steadily progressed in her devotional service, and much with the help of Siddhi Lalsa Mataji and all the beautiful devotees like yourself, Amita Radhe, who supporting and so on and having these beautiful meetings. I have seen some samples of those meetings and I like it very much. But I'm not allowed. I'm male also. We are all female, huh? But so and Rashmi Mataji has progressed from non-rounds like everybody else. We're always starting with no chanting at all, with a little bit of faith. And that faith is developing more and more. And so that spark has been fanned by the association of devotees over the years, over many, many years. I don't know, 25 or I don't know. Someone else do the math. And now she's chanting 11 rounds and she is fixed in Krishna consciousness. And she is knowledgeable in Shastra and humble, wonderful Vaishnavi. Okay, that is Rashmi Mataji. And Jayanti Bai, he also goes a long time back to our previous temple at Thosby Street, and he has been a regular. And we are in touch. Sometimes I go to his house, but I haven't come for a long time due to all the COVID madness. And he has been over so many years in being in touch, most of the time being in touch. And I'm really happy that Jayanti Bai is here tonight, even though he won't be very active speaking, but that is not required. He will be in the background and just listening. And that's what Srila Prabhupada said. People just give the oral reception to the message of the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam will do everything needful and necessary. So, let's go to the Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. So we're looking at...
Prabhuji, you didn't let Amrita Radhe Mataji say anything. You forgot about her.
Yes, thank you very much. So you want to say a few words about yourself? You are very attentive. I'm just testing you, Rashmi, if you're not completely absorbed in the kitchen. Okay, Amrita Radhe Mataji, do you want to say a few words about yourself? All what I know, you came to this country just recently.
True, Prabhuji. Like Rashmi Mataji just told me about this wonderful Bhagavatam class. And and I was also looking for a study group for Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. About me, I came to Krishna consciousness, or I started practicing Krishna consciousness when I was 18, 19 years old. I'm from Delhi, basically. And I started studying Back to Godhead magazine. That's what attracted me. You know, I was an atheist. My mother didn't want me to be an atheist. So one devotee came to our house. She subscribed the magazine, and I was the only one reading those magazines. And I got so attracted by what Srila Prabhupada said and how the other devotees presented Krishna conscious philosophy. So then I started chanting, and then my mother thought I'll become a sannyasi. So she got a bit scared. So then I kind of went to Mumbai to practice, to study my MBA, to do my MBA, and also to practice Krishna consciousness. That was one way of getting out of the home and, practice Krishna consciousness. So that's where I met Siddhi Lalsa Mataji. who kind of raised me up in Krishna consciousness, and I'm still trying. I'm always seeking association of sincere devotees. Now though I was a teacher of finance in a business school when I was back home in India, now I'm just a stay-at-home mom, and I'm relishing it. So thank you. That was
Thank you
about
very much. May I just add, you and your good husband, who is also a doctor like Rashmi, or studying, you come from Kolkata, from Bengal, like our Srila Prabhupada. Very
right.
nice. Thank you. So you speak Bengali, and we might need to take your help when we come to some Bengali songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Okay, beautiful, wonderful. You are most welcome of coming every Saturday and Wednesday if you can as well. And today we have a bit of a smallish group, but let's go to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So let me just find the link. I think we'll have to, you tell me if we have done that last verse of the 11th chapter, which is 39. I'll put it up into the chat. 39. And you tell me, I think we have not done it, but I'm not sure. So the link is there in the chat. Rashmi Mataji, do you recognize that verse? You were there last time. I think we have not done it.
I also think, Prabhuji, we haven't done it.
We haven't done it, I thought so. So Rashmi, why not start with you? You want to give us a reading of that verse 1:11:39.
Sure, Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text, Canto 1, Chapter 11, Text 39. Tam minere abala mudha strenam chanurvratam raha apramana vido bhartur ishwaram matayo yatha. Translation: the simple and delicate woman truly thought that Lord Shri Krishna, their beloved husband, followed them and was dominated by them. They were unaware of the extent of the glories of their husband, as the atheists are unaware of him as the supreme controller. Purport: even the transcendental wives of Lord Shri Krishna did not know completely the unfathomable glories of the Lord. Their ignorance is not mundane, because there is some action of the internal potency of the Lord in the exchange of feelings between him and his eternal associates. The Lord exchanges transcendental relations in 5 ways: as proprietor, master, friend, son, and lover. And in each of these pastimes, he plays fully by the potency of Yogmaya, the internal potency. He plays exactly like an equal friend with the cohort boys, or even with friends like Arjun. He plays exactly like a son in the presence of Yashoda Mata. He plays exactly like a lover in the presence of the cowherd damsels, and he plays exactly like a husband in the presence of the queens of Dwarka. Such devotees of the Lord never think of the Lord as the supreme, but think of him exactly as a common friend, a pet son, or a lover or husband, very much dear to heart and soul. That is the relation between the Lord and his transcendental devotees, who act as his associates in the spiritual sky, where there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets. When the Lord descends, he does so along with his entourage to display a complete picture of the transcendental world, where pure love and devotion for the Lord prevail without any mundane tinge or lording it over the creation of the Lord. Such devotees of the Lord are all liberated souls, perfect representations of the marginal or internal potency in complete negation of the influence of the external potency. The wives of Lord Krishna were made to forget the immeasurable glories of the Lord by the internal potency, so that there might not be any flaw of exchange, and they took it for granted that the Lord was a henpecked husband, always following them in lonely places. In other words, even the personal associates of the Lord do not know him perfectly well. So what do the thesis writers or mental speculators know about the transcendental glories of the Lord? The mental speculators present different theses as to his becoming the causes of the creation, the ingredient of the creation, or the material and efficient causes of the creation, etc. But all of this is but partial knowledge about the Lord. Factually, they are as ignorant as the common man. The Lord can be known by the mercy of the Lord only and by no other means. But since the dealings of the Lord with his wives are based on pure transcendental love and devotion, the wives are all on the transcendental plane without material contamination. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 11th chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled Lord Krishna's Entrance into Dwarka.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rashmi Mataji. Can you say a few words? Can you summarize or pick some important points on Srila Prabhupada's purport? What would you pick?
In the Prabhuji, in the translation, it is said that the wives of the Lord, they did not interact with the Lord as he is the Supreme Personality. They treated him like a husband, because so they were also unaware. Exactly in the same, they were unaware about that this is the Supreme Person, this person whom we think is our husband is the Supreme Personality. They were also unaware of him, just like the atheists are unaware of him. So this, I think from this statement, it feels as though the wives of Lord Krishna, the queens of Dwarka, did not know that this is the Supreme Lord. So I'm a bit confused because I thought they knew that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I'm not sure, Prabhuji, about this. And then inside also, in the purport also, Srila Prabhupada is saying that they were behaving ignorantly, but that ignorance is not like us, our ignorance, where we even negate the presence of God. So their ignorance is different. Theirs is a transcendental ignorance where Yogamaya has, Lord's internal potency has almost made like a curtain in front of their eyes. So that Krishna, they can enjoy Krishna as their husband, and equally Krishna can reciprocate in the same manner. There is no awe and reverence, because if the awe and reverence was to come in, then both the Bhakt and the Bhagwan, both will not be able to enjoy that particular rasa. This is Madhurya Ras. So that awe and reverence will step in, and then it will, the Lord will not be able to relish his relationship with his wives. So, but I'm confused, Prabhuji, about the translation. I thought the wives knew that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Well, if the wives would have known he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how would have they acted? How would they have acted? Rashmi, it's still you.
They would have worshipped him.
In what kind of mood?
It would be reverence, awe and reverence.
So you answered your own question, actually. Because if the wives would have been aware of his supremacy, then they would have acted like Arjuna, on the battlefield when Krishna showed him the universal form. He said, "Please forgive me, my Lord. I was not aware of your position. I was treating you as a friend. We were sitting on the same bed. We were eating together. We were sleeping on the same bed. And please forgive me." So that relationship Krishna has already with millions and billions of living entities. That is nothing special for Krishna. It's just like the Prime Minister. No, we'll not talk about here. Our Prime Minister is in big trouble. But if just like the Prime Minister, the whole country knows him as honorable or not so honorable, Sir Prime Minister. And so that relationship he has with millions of people. But those who are closer, his family members or his immediate associates, they have a different relationship to him. So Krishna is appreciating, and he wants that relationship. He wants to play the role of a seemingly hand-packed husband. He enjoys that. How much? I mean, even in mundane life. Welcome, Pragnesh. Even in mundane life, there is two things. There is a husband. He may be a hand-packed husband, and there is a husband, a Krishna-conscious husband, who plays as if a hand-packed husband. That latter one is much more superior, because he plays a role, and the wife is satisfied, and everybody is satisfied, but he knows he is eternal spirit soul, and he has a relationship with his wife and children and everybody else on the level of the soul. Different. So Krishna likes to play these roles, the various roles. And these roles, that is very rare. Like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam Sahasreshu, out of many thousands of men. Even just one person endeavors for perfection. Out of many thousands of souls, of many of those, there's hardly anyone who knows me in truth. So what then is the difference? You mentioned already, Rashmi, that Yoga Maya, the internal potency of the Lord, is here at play. What is the difference then? One may ask, the atheist doesn't know Krishna's supreme position, and the wives of Krishna didn't know his supreme position as well. So what's the difference between both? They're both in ignorance. Who can say? What about you, Ben? What is the difference?
Prabhuji, can
Amrita.
I tell?
Yes, please.
The wives of Krishna didn't know his supreme position under the influence of Yogamaya, but the atheists are covered by Mahamaya and are illusioned and hence are not able to recognize his supreme position.
Beautifully said. Thank you very much. There are two Mayas. There is a Mahamaya, the external illusory potency in this material world, and there is Yogamaya, Krishna's illusory potency is specifically reserved for his pure devotees. And for instance, another example, we spoke about that in the past, when Krishna's pastimes, like his Vrindavan pastimes of killing Akasura, Pralambasura, Trinavarta, Putana, and so on, these are going on around the clock in different universes with his associates all the time. So someone may ask the question, well, doesn't it become boring? The same pastimes with slight variations. Again, and the cowherd boy thinking, oh, okay, I know that one, it's Akasura again. So, but there also Krishna deploys his Yogamaya, and the cowherd boys, they forget completely. They forget these pastimes had already happened in a different universe, and they played it all through with Krishna, and now it happens again. So they're not aware of that. They forget that completely. Like Arjuna on the battlefield also, Krishna said to him, both you and I, we have been together, and In the past we were individuals, now we are individuals, in the future we'll be individuals. We have been together in these pastimes for many, 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 many times. The difference is I remember all of it, but you don't. So even Arjuna has been also put into forgetfulness, because that Mahabharat battlefield, Kurukshetra pastime, is also going on around the clock in different planets, and with the same Arjuna and with the same Krishna, because Arjuna is the eternal associate of the Lord. Same, he using his Gandiva bow again and again and again, and then when Krishna leaves, he's losing, the bow is losing all its powers, and all of that again and again and again. So these are the pastimes meant for the upliftment of anyone who hears it. Meant for us, to draw us closer to him, to find some attachment. Okay, what else could be said to this verse? So now we know the queens were exactly in that Yoga Maya illusion as the gopis, as Mother Yashoda, as Nanda Baba, as Arjuna, by Krishna's Yoga Maya, internal potency. So that Krishna could play his role. And they could play their role. They are satisfied and Krishna is satisfied. So what, any other question which could be asked, or comments, Amrita, Radhe Mataji? Is there anything else? If not, we move on. Prajnesh, will you stay with us? I have introduced Hare Krishna. Ben. Oh, you are here.
I had you on speaker. I had to change it.
Yes, you're sounding very excellent.
I was on Bluetooth, so I had to change it.
No, that works. That is your usual voice. Absolutely proper. Very nice, good quality.
A question that arises is about, because I remember in my early days, I was wondering about what it's like to be in spiritual world with Krishna, And then I read Prabhupada said that all the inhabitants in Vrindavan, they don't know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Right.
Yeah, and then as I read a bit more, I came to understand that because they're in the mood of spontaneous love, if they knew that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then they can't act from the platform of spontaneity. That would be more in keeping with like liberation in the Vaikuntha planets. Just the point I wanted to make. So.
Yes, absolutely. Well taken. Huh? If we are on the level, and we mentioned that in one of our quizzes, if we are on the level of sadhana bhakti, of rules and regulations, then our destiny is Vaikuntha. If we are on the level of spontaneous devotional, loving devotional service, just like the inhabitants of, like the queens in Dwarka even. Of course, Dwarka is another place. It's not Goloka Vrindavan. But if we are on the level like the gopis and the gopas, and then that spontaneous love will actually catapult us to Goloka, the supreme spiritual planet and destination. So it's not all the same. And if we are impersonal speculators and we want to merge in liberation, mukti, we want to have sayutya mukti, we want to merge into the Brahmin effulgence, we can have that too. We can achieve that, but then we have Ravana and Hiranyakashipu as our next door neighbors, because the demons killed by Krishna get also this destination, right? So today,
Can I just can I ask another question?
yes, please.
Okay. This just came across my mind, is that here in this material world, we can know who Krishna is to a degree, we understand, from Prabhupada, from the Vedas, from all the scriptures, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad Gita. We understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But it seems a bit strange that when we are liberated, we don't know who Krishna is. But when we're here in this material world, we're aware of who Krishna is, and we're learning more about who he actually is. Just the point.
Why is that strange? It's not strange at all. Do you really want to, when you developing a loving relationship with your dearmost friend, do you really want to know about his opulent position? Let's say I developed a relationship with the President of the United States, Joe Biden. A personal relationship. He writes to me and says, "Hey, Gauranga, how are you?" And I say, "Oh, Joe, I'm all right today." So do you really want then to know about, he is a president and a military commander and no.
But it's like you're beginning to know or to understand or to become aware of who Krishna is here. But then it seems that when you're liberated, Krishna is not revealing himself to anyone as the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the spiritual world. It's like, what happens? You just forget everything you've learned about Krishna. You don't need to be aware of who Krishna is anymore. That's the point.
Put it like that. If you climb up a ladder onto your roof, once you're on the roof, do you really care about the ladder? The ladder just fulfills the purpose. And us knowing about Krishna and understanding the glories of Krishna, that is just fulfilling a purpose to get us to pure devotional service and pure spontaneous love of Krishna. Then what use is of the ladder? As long as you don't want to climb down again from the roof, and we don't. We don't. So the ladder has done its purpose. No need of knowing about Krishna's opulence. Even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he showed Arjuna the universal form, and then he said, but what need is there of knowing all these details with a spark, with a fraction of myself, with a spark of my splendor, I'm maintaining everything. Is there really a need of knowing all the different opulences of Krishna? At the beginning, there is a need, of course, because everybody is more or less an atheist. At the beginning, I spoke today with an old friend of mine. He always takes a position of an atheist. He said, I don't care about Krishna, but I care about you. That is more real for him. I said, there is not really a difference. Not that I have become Krishna, but if you see a Tesco or Sainsbury delivering food delivering van, what do you think of? You don't think of the van and the driver, really. You think of Tesco. You think of Sainsbury immediately. So seeing a devotee, you think immediately of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada made that point many times. That is the glory of a devotee. Anyone seeing a devotee, immediately he thinks of Krishna. And thinking of Krishna, we make spiritual progress. Agyata Sukriti, at least that. Unintentional engaging in devotional service, even by, as I said at the beginning of tonight's meeting, just by giving oral reception, just by hearing the message of the Bhagavatam, that's enough. If we progress further, yes, we can do so much more, of course. Okay. Ben, your hand is up or still up? I'll take it down. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Anything else to be said or to be asked? But this, I mean, what you meant is a really important pointer. Once we have genuine love of Krishna, after the Brahma Buddha platform, after the liberated, we are all liberated from these horrible modes of material nature. And then we don't really be engaged. Then our relationship with Krishna develops. As mentioned here, in the 5 different rasas. So what we care about Krishna's opulences? No, we want to have a personal relationship. Rashmi.
Actually, Ben Prabhu made a very nice point. I've never ever thought of it that way. That let's say if when the conditioned soul, when he becomes a liberated soul, so he is in whatever ras he wants to be in, Vatsalya or Madhurya, whatever, Sakya Bhav. So he will actually forget that this Krishna is the supreme. Once we reach the spiritual world, we will actually forget. So, because then Krishna will cover us with Yogmaya. So that's what actually Ben has said, isn't it? I never actually thought of it. Such a intelligent point.
Absolutely. Absolutely spot on. Yes.
Oh, thank
you, Rashmi. Thank you, Ben. Okay. Can I ask Amrita Rathe Mataji to read us the next verse, which is bringing us to the next chapter?
Okay, Prabhu. Chapter 12, Birth of Emperor Parikshit. Text 1. Shaunaka uvacha ashwathama prastena brahma shirshnoru tejasa uttaraya hato garbha ishena jivita puna. Translation. The sage Shaunaka said, the womb of Uttara, mother of Maharaj Parikshit, was spoiled by the dreadful and invincible Brahmastra weapon released by Ashwathama. But Maharaj Parikshit was saved by the Supreme Lord. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The sages assembled in the forest of Naimisharanya inquired from Suta Goswami about the birth of Maharaj Parikshit. But in the course of the narration, other topics like the release of Brahmastra by the son of Drona, his punishment by Arjuna, Queen Kunti Devi's prayers, the Pandavas' visit to the place where Bhishma Dev was lying, his prayers, and thereafter the Lord's departure from Dwarka were discussed. His arrival at Dwarka and residing with the 16,000 queens, etc., were narrated. The sages were absorbed in hearing such descriptions, but now they wanted to turn to the original topic. And thus the inquiry was made by Shaunaka Rishi. So the subject of the release of the Brahmastra weapon by Ashwathama was renewed.
Thank you very much. Mataji, can you say a few words about that text?
It basically basically they wanted the sages assembled at Naimisharanya wanted to know about birth of Maharaj Parikshit, because even that is in relation to Krishna. This is one point which is coming to my mind, because they are inquiring about Krishna actually, but again, because this topic is related to Krishna, so they inquired about it.
Thank you very much. Yes, of course it is related, and the whole Bhagavatam is all about Krishna and all the topics related to Krishna. Whereas the Bhagavad Gita is directly spoken by Krishna, though there is a bit of difference. One point I would like to make, generally, at least in the Western countries, we don't like this jumping around. Generally, when we look at history, we like to neatly start with a number, 1950, 1955, 60, then 70, and so on. So we like to see it like that, but Bhagavatam is not like that. It's jumping around, and here was a bit of explanation. They got a bit sidetracked, really, the sages. And now they wanted to go back to the topic, because previous chapter, it was Krishna leaving Hastinapur and arriving in Dwarka, and we had all about Krishna's Dwarka pastime. Now we come into an episode which took place before Krishna left Dwarka and left Hastinapur and went to Dwarka. So the timeline is not straightforward from like we would expect. Why is that? Besides, of course, that the sages discussed, they got sidetracked, so to speak. But why is the Bhagavatam not in chronological order? That's a question. Who can say? And the Bhagavatam is not in chronological order. Even some pastimes are narrated. There are two accounts in the Bhagavatam of the Varaha avatar, Varaha incarnation of the Lord, and they're stemming from completely different times, from different kalpas, from completely different creation. Therefore, they're slightly different. As mentioned before, the Lord has his pastimes continuously with slight variations. So why is that the Bhagavatam is not in a chronological order? Who can say? Ben, Rashmi, Amrita Radhe.
I mean, I don't have like a definitive answer about this, but I have an idea. Because the pastimes, they happened in different eras and different planets and different parts of the universe, and it's not that everything just follows one event after the other after the other. It's not like a linear history of things. It's like popcorn. It tells a story about one aspect. It tells a story about one. It tells a story about one aspect of Krishna's pastimes, and then it will just jump to some other pastime. So it's not. We can't. It's not nicely ordered. That people's minds maybe want it to be nicely ordered, but the reality is it's not like that.
Yeah, but why? The question is still standing. Why, Amrita Radhe? What do you think? Why? Why is it? What does Srila Prabhupada say?
I have no answer for this, Prabhuji. I can only speculate, which I don't want to.
No, we don't want to. Rashmi, why?
No idea, Prabhuji.
Okay. Srila Prabhupada tells us in the Vedic literature, it's a completely different emphasis. it is not on the chronological order, but on the bhakti aspect, what we can learn from it. That is important. The chronological order is not important at all, but what we can actually learn from it. If we can learn from one pastime something and then a similar pastime would be employed to learn and reinforce the same point, that is much more important than a chronological order. Chronological order is not at all important. In Western thought, the chronological order is very important, is the most important. What comes after next and after next. But in the whole Vedic literature, the chronological order is not important. The emphasis is not on the chronological order. The emphasis is on what we can learn from these various pastimes. This is an important bit. So the chronological order is actually basically ignored. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. Okay, do we have any other question? We will do later on. Prajnesh, please do stay with us. Don't leave. We will do, and Chayanti Pai is the same, and anybody. We'll do a short quiz. Short, really. With points taken from the last verse of the 11th chapter, and with points taken from mostly, except one or two, points taken from this first and second text of the 12th chapter. So let's try to remember all the details, because details are in the questions. So let's go further. Ben, are you happy to read us the next shloka? Which is shloka 2. Now that your audio is sorted.
We're on chapter 12, yeah?
Yes, 1:12:2.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay, good. I just have to put my reading light on. Tasya janma maha buddhaya karmani cha mahatmana nidhanam cha vathaivasit sapretya gatavan yata. Translation. How was the great emperor Parikshit, who was a highly intelligent and great devotee, born in that womb? How did his death take place, and what did he achieve after his death? Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The king of Hastinapur, now Delhi, used to be the emperor of the world, at least till the time of the son of Emperor Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit was saved by the Lord in the womb of his mother, so he could certainly be saved from an untimely death due to the ill will of the son of a Brahmana. Because the age of Kali began to act just after the assumption of power by Maharaj Parikshit, the first sign of misgivings was exhibited in the cursing of such a greatly intelligent and devoted king as Maharaj Parikshit. The king is the protector of the helpless citizens, and their welfare, peace, and prosperity depend upon him. Unfortunately, by the instigation of the fallen age of Kali, an unfortunate Brahmana's son was employed to condemn the innocent, Maharaj Parikshit, and so the king had to prepare himself for death within 7 days. Maharaj Parikshit is especially famous as one who is protected by Vishnu. And when the unduly cursed. When he was unduly cursed by the Brahmana's son, he could have invoked the mercy of the Lord to save him. But he did not want to because he was a pure devotee. A pure devotee never asked the Lord for any undue favor. Maharaj Pariksit knew that the curse of the Brahmana's son upon him was unjustified, as everyone else knew. But he did not want to counteract it, because he knew also that the age of Kali had begun, and that the first symptom of the age, namely degradation of the highly talented Brahmana community, had also begun. He did not want to interfere with the current of the time, but he prepared himself to meet death very cheerfully and very properly. Being fortunate, he got at least 7 days to prepare himself to meet death, and so he properly utilized the time in the association of Sukadeva Goswami, the great saint and devotee of the Lord.
What a beautiful puppet is that, what we're hearing here. I mean, these qualities of such a great saintly devotee, they are unknown today. So can you say a few words about it, Ben?
Maharaj Pariksit as was mentioned in the text, is a highly intelligent and a great devotee. And it's like stating that what is the king's duty, what it means to be a king, and how to the qualities of being a king. As example, the king is the protector of the helpless citizens, and he has to look after their welfare, their peace and prosperity. Prabhupada states that, with the inception of the age of Kali at the end of Dwapara Yuga, then this age was becoming more, was about to become more and more degraded. So Prabhupada, he makes the point here in his purport that at the beginning of the Kali Yuga, that the age was becoming less and less. There was less and less morality, less honesty, less honor, all these kind of qualities that were there previously. And so Maharaj Pariksit, he knew he'd been, he was aware that he'd been cursed by this Brahmana's son to die within 7 days. And he just accepted that as his destiny in a sense. He didn't, although he could have asked the Lord to counteract this curse or to indemnify this curse, he just accepted it as his destiny. And the fortunate thing was that he'd been given notice, and he had 7 days. And being such a pure devotee, he showed by his example, by the way he chose to live out the last 7 days, was being in the association of another great devotee, Sukadeva Goswami. And he spent this time hearing from Sukadeva Goswami, the entire Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, wherein he was asking questions, and Sukadeva Goswami was answering the questions, and in this way he was leaving a legacy, because he's such a magnanimous devotee. He's left this legacy of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam for all other souls who follow in this age, just to help us and to give us light about Krishna and about devotion and all these things. So I'll leave it there.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ben. Question for you, Ben, or anybody here. That son of a Brahmana, what was his name? Anyone? What's the name of that son of the Brahmana who cursed him? Shringi. Shringi is his name, yes, Amrita, Mother, you remember that? And what's the name of the father? Anyone? Kaushika Rishi. Kaushika Rishi. Here in the 18th, first canto, 18th chapter, Srila Prabhupada gives a very interesting account. This mentality of false prestige of the higher caste upon the lower is a cause of the fall down of the perfect social order, and we can see that the beginning was started by the inexperienced son of a Brahmin. Social order, that is of course Varnashram system. As the dog is never allowed to enter within the room and hearth, also it is reared by the master. Similarly, according to Shringi, the king had no right to enter the house of Kaushika Rishi, his father. According to the boy's opinion, the king was on the wrong side and not his father, and thus he justified his silent father. And we know the story, of course, that the king was thirsty, and he entered the cottage of the Brahmin and asked for some water, but the Brahmin, Kaushika Rishi, he was meditating, he didn't see the king, he had his eyes closed, he didn't hear him, he was completely absorbed in meditation. So the king got a little bit annoyed because the Brahmin should have received him properly, and there was a dead snake, and he took his bow and he put that snake over the shoulder or around the neck of the Rishi, and he left. And when the son, Shringi, came back, he saw that, and he found out what had happened, and then he cursed the king. Srila Prabhupada called an inexperienced son, an upstart of a Brahmana. So that was a fall down of the perfect social order, the Varnashram system. Okay, anything else could be said? I think you said it already all, Ben. Of course, maybe one point in the verse itself. How did his death take place, and what did he achieve after his death? So people in general, if you ask the ordinary man, so what did your father, or what do you want to achieve after your death? Then they're completely lost, because most people think after our death, everything is finished. That is, of course, a misconception, as we know. So that is interesting, that even what did he achieve after his death? And we hear all about these things, of course. Yes, his action was unjustified. What else could be said? Or anyone has any question? Any question, Pragnesh?
No, Prabhuji. Very interesting. Thank you.
It is interesting. That is a very wonderful comment. If we find that interesting, that means we are. If we find the Bhagavatam interesting, that means there is some attraction there. And that attraction will help us progress in our spiritual advancement. But that is only possible through the association of devotees. So that is ever so important. So now Amrita Radhe Mataji has come to this group, and I'm sure she will be there regularly, because where she lives there is no physical association of devotees. So that is the right thing to do, to get into this. So physical is not that important. So hearing, that is important. Pandava asked me recently, don't you miss the physical association of devotees? I said, no, not at all. He was surprised. He was totally surprised. That was an honest answer for myself. There is no difference. Then he brought out a point. Actually, yes, because devotees, the loving exchanges of devotees, giving gifts and receiving gifts and offer obeisances to the devotees. Then I said, yes, you're right. This is not possible. Offer obeisances. Okay, we can only do like this. So in that way, yes, a physical association may be helpful, but otherwise, in fact, Srila Prabhupada says physical association is not important. It doesn't matter if I'm here or if I'm gone. Welcome, Ben. Welcome back. It doesn't matter. You just follow my instruction. That is a real association. That's a real association. By Vani. Of course, while the Vapu, the physical association, is available, then we have to also serve that physically, like Pandava said, by offering obeisances, by exchanging prasadam and like that. So prasadam we cannot do on Zoom. What a shame. That would be nice if we could send prasadam on Zoom. We have done that. Amrita Radhe Mataji, we have done on some festival days. Vaishana Mataji was cooking, and Amit and I was picking it up and going to the devotees' houses around and distributing prasadam. So that was nice. It was nice, and everybody appreciated it. So for certain occasions we can do that also, but it will be difficult to drive to Wales. We would have to send it in the post. We'd be happy to do that. We'd be very happy to do that. You receive, postman comes and you, or Amazon delivery man or any delivery man comes and, prasadam. Prasadam from Leicester. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, let's move on. Let's take one more verse and then we do our quiz, which will reinforce what has been heard so far. So, Braknesh, are you happy to read a little bit?
I'd rather not, Prabhuji, if you don't mind.
I'd rather not, okay. No
Thank you,
problem.
Prabhuji.
No problem. We respect that. But I have to ask, otherwise you will be cross. Oh, Gauranga asked everybody to read, but not me. What has he against me? No, not like that. Whoever wants or doesn't want, doesn't matter. So perhaps I read that next verse. So I'll get the chance as well. Text 3. Tad idam shrotum ichchamo gaditum yadimanyase bruhina shratathananam yasya jnanam adachchak chukka shratathananam shraddha, faith, somewhere. Translation. We all respectfully want to hear about him, Maharaj Parikshit, to whom Shukadev Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge. Please speak on this matter. So here we go already again. The sages are inquiring. They don't want to hear what happened next, and after that next, and after that next. They want to hear about that subject matter, wherever it takes them. Purport. By His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shukadev Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge to Maharaj Parikshit during the remaining 7 days of his life. And Maharaj Parikshit heard him properly, just like an ardent student. as an effect of such a bona fide hearing and chanting of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam was equally shared by both the hearer and the chanter. Both of them were benefited. Out of the 9 different transcendental means of devotional service to the Lord prescribed in the Bhagavatam, either all of them or some of them or even one of them are equally beneficial if properly discharged. Maharaj Parikshit and Shukadev Goswami were serious performers of the first 2 important items, namely the process of chanting and the process of hearing, and therefore both of them were successful in the laudable attempt. Transcendental realization is attained by such serious hearing and chanting, and not otherwise. There is a type of spiritual master and disciple much advertised in the age of Kali. It is said that the master injects spiritual force into the disciple by an electrical current generated by the master, and the disciple begins to feel the shock. He becomes unconscious and the master weeps for exhausting his store of so-called spiritual assets. Such bogus advertisement is going on in this age, and the poor common man is becoming the victim of such advertisement. We do not find such folk tales in the dealings of Shukadev Goswami and the great disciple Maharaj Parikshit. The sage recited Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in devotion, and the king heard him properly. The king did not feel any shock of electrical current from the master, nor did he become unconscious while receiving knowledge from the master. One should not, therefore, become a victim of these unauthorized advertisements made of some bogus representative of Vedic knowledge. The sages of Naimisharanya were very respectful in hearing about Maharaj Parikshit because of his receiving knowledge from Shukadev Goswami by means of ardent hearing. Ardent hearing from the bona fide master is the only way to receive transcendental knowledge, and there is no need for medical performances or occult mysticism for miraculous effects. The process is simple, but only the sincere party can achieve the desired result. So I do believe this example of the electrical shock, Srila Prabhupada speaks, I don't know who or I forgot, but there is a particular incident, and there may be more than one, where some so-called guru have advertised themselves like this, and the foolish disciple, and I have even seen devotees expressing that. A long time back, a devotee is saying, "Oh, I wish just Guru comes and he puts his hand on my head and I receive all the knowledge." So it doesn't work like that. It can work like that, but that is a lazy process. I don't have to do anything. Just Guru puts his hand on my head and I'm fully enlightened and liberated and all like that. No, that is, as here explained, that's a fallacy. Also, Guru Kripa does exist, but don't bet on it, Srila Prabhupada says. It does exist. By the mercy of the Spiritual Master, anything is possible. But don't bet on it. It's not just hope we get the Guru Kripa and we don't have to do any effort on our own. So, yes, there was a particular incident of a particular person who advertised themselves with that electrical shock therapy. But there may be more than one person. But there is another fault in that story. Who can spot it? Who can spot it? That little incident Srila Prabhupada describes. What is the other shortcoming there, which doesn't fit with Krishna conscious philosophy at all? Who can say? Amrita. Yes.
in this story, you are asking for another fault, right? Okay, Prabhu. So what I found here was, here it is said that master, the spiritual master, starts weeping for his exhausting his store of so-called spiritual assets. So, but in the Vedic philosophy, or in the scriptures, it is explained that the more one gives, the more benefits, spiritual benefits one receives. That is.
Thank you very much. Well spotted. That is completely against all the Bhagavatam and anything what we know about Krishna consciousness. It assumes that guru, his spiritual assets were exhausted. That is not what Krishna says in the Upanishad. Rashmi, you have studied the Upanishad. What is the Upanishad saying about Krishna and so many whole units emanating from him? Who can say? Isa Upanishad.
I can't remember, Prabhuji. Sorry.
Amrita?
It's first verse, Prabhuji. Om Purnamida. I don't know the verse, but it says that, from him complete units come out and still he remains complete.
That's the point. That's exactly the point. And that's not only with Krishna like that, it's with a pure devotee like that too. It's not that the pure devotee gives so much to disciples and there's nothing left. That is a material calculation. In the material calculation, if we have £1,000 and we give 500 to that person and 100 to 5 other persons, then that £1,000 is finished at one point. But in spiritual science, it's not like that. Not like that with Krishna. It's not finished Krishna, and not like that with devotees also. Krishna will. If there is Krishna will enlighten the devotee more and more and more. So more we give, so more we get. There was a very nice story. We won't read it tonight. We'll have to find it by our late Tamakrishna Goswami. It was entitled, "So more we give, so more we get." Beautiful little write-up. So that is a material calculation. So that doesn't apply. So anything else could be said to this verse or purport, or in general, any other comment? Ben.
When the guru is fully connected to the disciplic succession, he's directly connected to Krishna. So he doesn't lose any power because he's connected to Krishna. His power is, and his ability to disseminate Krishna consciousness, in a sense, is unlimited.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, in fact, it's Ananda Buddhivartanam is an ever-increasing ocean of bliss. Anyone else has a question? Before we move on to a short quiz. It's a short quiz. Okay. If not,
Prabhuji,
then
I have a question.
Rashmi, yes.
The first verse, which the one which I read, where Srila Prabhupada explained how all the in the spiritual world, all the associates of Krishna, they're covered by Yog Maya, so they do not know who he is. But during Kartik month, I was listening regularly to Gopi Geet. And in the Gopi Geet, one of the verses, the gopis are telling Krishna that they are telling him sarcastically that we know who you are. You are not an ordinary coward boy. You are the Paramatma. So they have called him the Paramatma in Gopi Geet. So how do you reconcile both these points?
Okay, nice. So they got a little bit of the Yoga Maya was a little bit lifted, a little bit, and they got a kind of a little ray of you as a Paramatma in everybody's heart, which is very close to their relationship with Krishna. Because Krishna is in their heart, totally. To call him Paramatma within the heart, it is very close. If they would say you are the creator of the universe, you have 5 opulences, you showed all the some of the opulences, your universal form to Arjuna, they will not say this generally. But to say you love someone and you say you are in my heart, yeah, you are the Paramatma, that didn't disturb the relationship, let's put it like that. Saying and these kind of exchanges are also a kind of, what is the word, it's a kind of tussle, forth and back, like when Krishna stopped the gopis and tax collecting, and then there is an exchange of words, of very clever words, and the gopis are answering in a clever way, and Krishna is answering even more clever, and like that. So saying we know you as that Paramatma in the heart, so that falls in this category, I would think so. Does that answer your question, Rashmi? Are you satisfied with that answer?
No, it does not answer, but maybe in due course I'll get the answer.
Hare Krishna. So that means you're not satisfied with that answer. Hare Krishna. Okay, you find the answer. Let us know. An answer you're satisfied with. Okay.
Where's it gone?
How can Krishna be known? You have 4 options. Directly from the text of the Bhagavatam. With the queens of Chakwara, the last verse of the 11th chapter. By the Lord's mercy, that's the correct answer. Only, Srila Prabhupada says, only by the Lord's mercy. As you can see, there is a time limit to these quiz questions. And so quicker, there is a maximum point you can achieve, but so quicker you answer the question, so there is some extra points then. So that's not by practicing yoga. You cannot know Krishna.
I tried to play the quiz on the Zoom screen. I kept touching, but nothing happened.
No, it's not on the Zoom screen. You have to go to kahoot.it.
It's my mistake.
Yes, that we have cleared out a long time ago. Yes, that would be so nice if it was on the Zoom screen.
Am I still in, or?
I cannot see that.
I don't know
you
why.
Will. Okay, I can see that by clicking next. Yes, I have 4 devotees here.
Okay.
Okay, shall we go next?
Yeah.
True or false? Now that should be easy. We spoke about that. And what a beautiful picture we have here. True. All 4. Yes, we spoke. Just see, because we spoke at length about it. Because of the Yoga Maya, even the personal associate of the Lord don't know him perfectly. Well done. Everybody got that right. So Prajnesh, you're right in it. Very good. Next. True or false?
Oh. Mm.
Yes, that is correct as well. They did not completely know about the glories. Again, Yoga Maya. Well done, everyone. Puzzle. Put into the progressive order of intimacy. There is a progressive order, even so everyone will be very happy in their rasa. These are the Sanskrit words, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. But it's a parental friendship, servant, and conjugal. What is a progressive order of intimacy? Where does it start? What next? What next? What next? And next? You may struggle with that, Pragnesh.
You know that question, it wouldn't let me submit an answer.
There's a submit button at the bottom, Ben Prabhuji.
No, you need to move them around.
Oh,
They're
you
moving.
I didn't know about that. You should have given
They're
me warning.
moving. We had that
even
before.
I got it wrong.
Oh, we
But
can
I-
move them.
I'm in their order, and then I press submit, but nothing happened.
Okay. No, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
As it says puzzle, like a jigsaw puzzle. You can move them around. I could have mentioned that. So, what is a progressive order? Then, who can say? That's why we have the microphones on, because we can have a conversation. What's a progressive order? Just anybody speak out.
Madhurya, Vatsalya, Sakya.
No. We're starting from low to higher.
Well, just reverse what I said.
So what's the first step?
Dasya
Dasya. What is Dasya?
is servitude,
Servitorship. What comes next?
friendship.
Yes. Sakya. What's next?
No, Vatsalya.
Parentalhood.
No. So far as I know, parentalhood is number 3.
What?
It's more intimate. Can anybody confirm that?
It's more intimate than friendship.
Yes.
Yes.
That's my understanding. We could confirm that somewhere. Amrita Radhe Mataji, what do you say?
I'm sorry, I'm confused, Prabhuji, between Vatsalya and Sakya.
Vatsalya, just think of it. What Mother Yashoda does with Krishna, of feeding him and let him suck her breast. And these are all very intimate relationships. And cooking for him and caring for him, that is more intimate than what Arjuna has with Krishna. And then what is left, that is Madhurya, the gopis' mood. Okay,
Yes,
let's move on.
Yeah, I think Sakya is lower than Vatsalya, as you're saying.
Okay. I mean, lower, higher, it means in progressive intimacy. It becomes more intimate, and Madhurya Rasa is most intimate. A quiz. That should be easy. We spoke about that before. Who released this atomic weapon? Ashwatam, Dushashan. Who said Dushashan? Who said Dushashan? Was it you, Pragnesh?
It was. I wasn't going to admit to it.
Yes, no, you can only know that by being here regularly. Otherwise, yes, okay. Ashwatam, of course, yes. And the next question is related to that. It's a quiz. Ashvatam is the son of... That is Bhagavad Gita, Pragnesh. Of course, Bhagavatam as well is the son of who? Of Dronacharya. Not Kripacharya. That was a wild guess as well. Kripacharya was a guess, isn't it? We'll have to guess some things and rather nothing. Thank you. Okay, we are halfway.
Take part in the question.
Next, true or false?
Very false.
True or false?
Yeah, you tell me the answers. I'll put it.
Who said it's true?
Which is
I was going to say it is true, but Krishna said it's false. I don't know how he.
So,
I said it was true. Sorry.
so
Yeah.
who, if it wasn't Sutta Goswami, who was it then?
Must have been Sonaka.
Saunaka Rishi. He is a leader of the sages, and Sutta Goswami is a speaker of the Bhagavatam.
True, true.
That's a
Oh, God.
tricky question, isn't it? That's a tricky one. So you have to be careful.
knowledge is
It is worded in such a way that you could easily fall prey to that. Okay. Rashmi is moving up. Quiz. Ashvatam was the son of a... That should be straightforward.
Kshatriya.
No, Brahman.
Oh,
Good.
Negro evil have I said.
He was evil, but he was the son of a Brahmin.
He was fighting on the battlefield, but actually he was a Brahmin. We rarely have that. We rarely have that, and that is not advised that one should, one is a Brahmin and should act as a Kshatriya. But I mean, he was a very elevated personality. So a few elevated personalities like Drona, they could do that. They could do that. So actually he was a Brahmin, but being engaged as a Kshatriya, Dronacharya, and Ashvatam is his son. Next. Rashmi, you have a winning streak of 3. And Krishna is helping you. That is really good. Quiz.
Yeah.
What was the first sign of Kali Yuga? As soon as Parikshit Maharaj.
Stops.
Parikshit Maharaj stops.
Parikshit Maharaj stops.
Who said Kali trying to kill a cow?
Krishna. Krishna.
Yes. That is a general story we know. But that was not the first sign of Kali Yuga. And if we study what we just have been reading, then we know exactly that Srila Prabhupada says the first sign of Kali Yuga was a fall down of the Brahminical class. And the Shringi, he cursed Maharaj Parikshit. So that was the beginning of, yes, then if the Brahmin class is falling down, like that, then the next will be the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, and the whole Varnashram Dharma system is just gone. Okay, next. True or false? Well, that should be very easy. Let Krishna answer that.
Come on. Come on, Krishna, answer. Huh?
I don't.
He does not know, Prabhuji.
He does not know. Who said it's true? Is that you, Pragnesh?
Yeah, was it 8 days, not 5 days? And I know.
No, it was 7 days.
7 days. Oh dear. Oh dear. All right. I knew the number
Oh
of days.
dear, oh dear.
Yeah,
Anyway,
You said
I
5
think
days.
if this, we're learning a lot by this quiz. If that question come up again, Pragnesh, anywhere, you will know 7 days. Next. Amrita Radhe Mataji, you holding, you are on top of the pack, followed by Ben, by Rashmi and Pragnesh. And Amrita Radhe Mataji, here it says have a winning streak of 3 correct answers in a row. Okay. Next. Type your answer. You need to type something in the box.
Parikshit have invoked Krishna's mercy to save him.
So it can be only 2 answers. Yes or no, really.
Yes. Huh? हाँ करो ना.
That's all in the purport.
You want to go for Krishna?
What?
Right.
Half an hour.
Oh, someone got something different. The correct answer is yes. We got 3 answers. Who said no? Or perhaps. No. Parikshit could have invoked Krishna's mercy to save him, and Krishna would have saved him. Why didn't he invoke Krishna's mercy? Who remembers?
Because he was a pure devotee, Prabhuji. And a pure devotee doesn't seek favors from the Lord.
Exactly. Spot on. Thank you very much. Well done. I couldn't have said it better. Quiz.
Oh.
That is important, but a bit tricky.
This sounds familiar. 432.
We had said before. You might remember.
No.
Ragnesh, give it a guess. Everybody, oh, Ragnesh, you gave it the right guess. 432,000 years is the length of Kali Yuga. 427,000 years remaining because 5,000 years have passed since the beginning of Kali Yuga, since Lord Krishna left the planet. At the end, when Krishna left the planet, then Kali Yuga starts, which is very appropriate. When Krishna leaves this planet, then yes, there will be consequences, wouldn't it? Kali Yuga cannot start while Krishna is playing his pastimes, of course not. So next question is even more tricky, and we can learn something from that next question. I wonder if anybody knows that. How long does Dwapara Yuga last?
Oh.
Everybody got that right? How did you get that right? Was it a guess? How did you get that right? I don't believe that.
Prabhuji, you had told us double, something like that. I remember you had told us that.
Yes, that is a math behind, and that is important. All what you need to remember is Kali Yuga lasts 432,000 years, right? And then not just double, 432,000 years plus 432,000 years gives you the previous age, the Dwapara Yuga, which makes 864, which can easily be calculated in the head. If we want to have the Treta Yuga, you're adding another, not double, but another 432,000 years on top of. So 864,000 plus 432,000. That gives you the number of the Treta Yuga. And if you want the Satya Yuga, you add another 432,000 and you have the Satya Yuga. So that is a math to easily get the duration of all the 4 ages. Now the next question is, as far as I remember, you have to move things around. Again, it's a puzzle. So let's see what you're doing with that. It's an easy puzzle. Put the yugas in the current order.
Into the current order?
Which is now, yes, the order which we know, the order which we know. And then I explain it was not always like this.
Oh, yeah.
The order in this creation, so to speak. Because in the previous creation it was different.
Oh, okay.
put some. We all know that. Even Prajnesh, you will know that. What is a proper order of the 4 yugas? Everybody knows Kali is the last, but where does it start and what's in between?
Treta, but not Treta.
Don't speak loud, otherwise everybody can hear you. Okay. It says here 50-50. So that means 50%, 2 got it wrong and 2 got it right, as I understand. Huh? So the correct order is Satya Yuga, the longest. Then comes Treta, then Dvapara, and then Kali, the present age. Right? That's the correct order. Why?
Prabhuji, what did you say? Prabhuji, Haribol, what did you say about... you just said that in other kalpas, this order is not followed. So,
yes.
Okay, right.
Who can say? Amrita Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. In other yugas, Dwapar follows Satya and Treta comes third. But because in this yuga we had the appearance of Lord Shri Krishna, so Dwapar shifted place. It came just before Kali.
Okay,
Exactly.
okay, thank you.
Exactly. So we are so much used to Satya, Treta, Dvapara, Kali, but actually the order is Satya, Dvapara, Treta, Kali. And Treta, if I'm not mistaken, in that word is 3.
Yes.
Is that right? Yes.
That's good.
So that is a proper order. But it's when Krishna came, then that changed around. Okay. So that was our last question. Now, I want you to all head back to Zoom and see the result of what we have done. This quiz was fairly easy, I would say, with maybe 3-4 more difficult questions, but otherwise straightforward. And if we have read and listened to what we have read tonight, then that was even more easy. So do let me know if you are back. Put your hand up or just say so.
I'm back, Prabhuji.
Yes. Ben, yeah, put your hand up so we can see who's back. Ben is back. Rashmi, put your hand up. You're back. Prajnesh is back. Amrita Rate Mataji. Yeah, you're clapping.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm back. Yes, I'm back.
You're back, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And Prajnesh is back. Ben, Rashmi. Everybody is back. Okay. So let's go one step further and have the podium and see how we have done. Unfortunately, the music doesn't work. Maybe in the future I can. Rashmi, Ben, here. Oh, the spotlight is on. Amrita, Radhe, Radheji. Prajnesh, you are number 4. Okay, here we go. The confetti comes from the ceiling.
I'm glad Prajnesh is here.
The golden buzzer, that was a golden buzzer. Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll stop that screen share. And did you enjoy that? Was it difficult, that quiz?
It's very nice. I mean, you said it would be a short quiz. There were 14 questions.
That is a short quiz.
A long quiz is a long one is 80 questions.
Is it? Wow.
No, 60. 60.
Wow.
Yes, that was way too long. 12 question, 14 question. That is the normal. That is a normal.
That's good, yeah. 12 to 15 is okay.
Yes. Amrita Radhe Mataji, did you enjoy that?
Yes, Prabhu, it helped me recall whatever we had learned in the Bhagavatam class. So I hope it will stay with me.
It will stay with you, huh? I have that experience. If we got it right or wrong, this is a very deep learning experience that stays with the devotees quite well. More than just hearing it and next. Okay, here we stop for tonight. Thank you very much. We have 9 o'clock. We are just on time. So thank you, and please do come back on Wednesday for our Bhagavad Gita workshop. And if not, we'll see you on Saturday. You take care, stay safe, and chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Hare Bol.